First shots with the Parker Mountain Machine Ultra Comp on my P320 X-Carry with that Wilson Combat grip frame. If you couldn't tell, I could tell that was very flat. What's going on, guys? I'm glad you're here at Seaver Shoots, back with another video. Today I'm talking about a firearm that I have been building out for a while, and it's a bit of a Frankenstein, but in my opinion it's absolutely beautiful. And it's my P320 X-Carry, rocking the Wilson Combat grip frame and the Parker Mountain Machine Ultra Comp. I've got a 507C up here from Holoson sitting on a C&H Precision plate. So I don't want to do a review of each of these things individually. I wanted to review this gun as a whole because I don't think there's enough to talk about with each one of those individual things. But as a whole firearm, there is a lot to talk about. So I actually wanted to start with the frame because that is where this build really starts. When I first saw a Parker Mountain Machine Ultra Comp setup, I said to myself, I gotta have one. That's different. The compensator is captured inside the dust cover instead of sticking off the end of the barrel like an afterthought. In my opinion, they were so aesthetically displeasing, the compensators of the day, back in just 2019, that they weren't, in my mind, worth the recoil mitigation to throw those onto one of my guns. And then this guy came along and I was like, man, I gotta have one, I gotta try it out, I've got to get on this bandwagon. And here we are. So naturally, in order to have it inside the dust cover, I needed a long slide grip frame. And Wilson Combat came out with this guy. I don't like the SIG OEM grip frames. I think their ergonomics are really nasty. I don't like the way they look. I don't like the way they feel either. So I was grateful that Wilson Combat came out with a long slide version of their grip frame, because Polymer 80 has yet to do so. As much as I would love to keep running this, I can't do it. I can't have this not captured in the dust cover. I could, but I don't like that. I think that's stupid. So I got the Wilson Combat grip frame from a company called Armory Craft. They're the ones who put on this nice Cerakote, because Wilson Combat only does black and FDE, which is lame, and they should do more colors than that. But Armory Craft just sells these on their website. You don't have to buy one, send it to them, and have them do it. They do this, and then they sell these frames on their website. So they have a nice gunmetal gray Cerakote on here, and then the laser stippling as well. It's a really good look in my opinion, and I really like the laser stippling. I think that it is an upgrade over the original stippling of the Wilson Combat frame itself. Talking about this frame, I thought I wasn't going to like it because I don't like palm swell, and this little nyet at the bottom of the back strap made me think that there was going to be some, but there's not. This guy is straight up and down, just like the Polymer 80, and you don't realize that until you grip it. The only place it waves is here, where the undercut is, and that's the only place it should. I think that they only did this little rounded edge down here for concealment purposes. They do that with their 1911s. There are other companies that do it with the 1911s now as well, rounding out the corners, and I'm totally fine with that. It doesn't change the way it feels in my hand at all. So talking about this guy, there are some features that I really like, and one of them is the flared Magwell. So I was worried that I wouldn't like going from this guy from Steel City Armory, the extra Magwell that you can get for your Polymer 80s, going to this one that's just an integrated one from the factory. But it actually works really well. You can see that big fat back ramp, and then it actually, you can't really see it on camera, but it is flared. So I will show it like this, so that you can see the flaring down here. And mag changes with this thing have been nice and smooth and easy, no complaints. The release is nice and pushed out, not so much that you're going to hit it on accident. I haven't, at least. And there's this nice heavy click when that magazine is all the way inserted that lets you know it's all the way up in there. Haven't had any issues with this grip frame except one, and it was fitting the fire control unit in here. There are only two parts that are original to the X-Carry on this gun: the slide and the fire control unit. And I think that the issue is the layer of Cerakote that Armory Craft put on this for the gunmetal gray. It just added too much. And so when you try to go in and stick the little spoon back here into the groove that's made for it, it doesn't want to go. It's just a little tight. So these guys weren't going into their little hole. They were sitting a little far forward. I had to take a screwdriver and take the rubber end, shove it onto the front of the fire control unit, and then really put some elbow grease on it to get it back into where it should be. Now it's in there nice and solid, so no complaints there. It's just difficult to get it in there in the first place. So that's my only gripe with this grip frame. Other than that, beautiful. Beaver tail's awesome. Color's great. Ergonomics are fantastic. And it's got that long slide so that the comp can fit flush inside the dust cover. So now I want to briefly talk about the plate from C&H Precision. I have done a video, whether it's out now or it'll be out in the future, but it's me talking about my process with C&H and finally getting this optic up here. And it was quite the workaround and a humongous pain in the butt, and all of it still hasn't been resolved. I'm still waiting for them to send me the correct front sight, which they were supposed to in the first place, and they did not. But that's another video. What I wanted to say is that once I got this plate on here, it's performed perfect. It's holding the optic on, it's holding itself onto the slide. Haven't had any zero shift or anything like that, so I cannot complain. And I mean, I can see those rear sights through the window. Now I just need a front sight that I can also see through the window, and I will be a happy man. So C&H plate, as far as I can tell right now, good to go. Not perfect, but good to go. Now let's get to the star, in my opinion, of the setup, and that is the Parker Mountain Machine comp barrel combo. So if you don't know already, Parker Mountain Machine has a proprietary comp barrel system. So the reason they did that was because if you've seen threaded barrels that people make for SIG guns, they stick out a little far. The threads are a little bit further forward than you think they should be. They don't go all the way back to the slide. So if you were to get an aftermarket comp of some kind to try to throw on there, there's gonna be a pretty hefty gap right here between the comp and the slide. Now, from a performance standpoint, I'm not sure it's really an issue, that gap. I know people who have comped P320s, and that's the setup that they have. Aftermarket comp, some kind of threaded barrel that sticks out a little bit far, and they work, I guess. I just don't like that. I'm a big aesthetics person. I want it to work and I want it to look good. So if I can accomplish both of those things, I'm going to. And Parker Mountain Machine gives you the opportunity. So they make their barrels so that they're a little bit shorter, so that those threads really butt up against the slide, making that flush fit happen. Now, when they send you this, they're separate, okay? The barrel and the comp are not attached to each other, and they send you a shim kit and some rock set. So the hard part about putting this on is messing with the shims. I only ended up having to use one shim in order to get it to the position that you want. So you'll see right now it's straight on. They want you to get it so that it's about here, so that it is offset this much. And then once your rock set is on there and everything, then you tighten it to straight and flush with your slide. And that's what's going to give it the amount of torque that it needs in order to stay on there long term, especially once you put the rock set on there. It shouldn't go anywhere. Between the tension and the rock set, you should be good to go. It was actually very easy to put on. I did it a little backwards because in the videos that they do, they put the comp in the vise. I actually put my slide in my vise with some soft jaws and then got the comp on there. I thought that was easier personally. Anyway, the point is, it was not hard to get on here. I could do it in my basement with my kind of ghetto setup, for lack of better terms. So getting it on there is not so bad. Ordering it wasn't terrible. I'll talk about that a little bit, because I'm kind of an idiot. I knew that their restock was coming. They said what day it was, like a week out. I knew I was going to be working that day, driving around in a truck, and so I forgot. Flat out forgot, until I stopped and checked my emails, and I noticed an email from them because I was on their email list. I was like, crap, it's 2 o'clock. They went live at 12, which was like 10 their time, or 10 my time, and it was now 2 my time. So I call my wife and I ask her to go on and try to buy one, and she has no idea. You know, I'm giving her directions. I'm saying, it's got to be compact. We don't need the Mushi mount. We don't need extra shims. And she's like, I don't know what any of these words mean. And I'm like, sorry, babe, I'll figure it out. So when I got another break, I got on there and quickly bought one and checked out. The issue was, for the X-Carry slide, you have to have a barrel service done to the barrel to make it fit for whatever reason. I don't know why. I don't know what the specifics are, but you got to do that. So I tried to put them both in the cart and then check out. You have to buy the barrel service separately for some reason. Don't know why. And then buy the comp. So finally I did that and figured it out. Then I emailed them to make sure that that was right. And I said, hey, I'm trying to get a barrel combo for my X-Carry. I had to order the barrel service separate. Is that okay? This was like 5 minutes after I'd ordered it, and they were like, oh, we're all sold out. You can't buy anything. And I was like, crap, did I miss it? Turns out I did not miss it. And they were just as surprised as I was to find out that I had successfully checked out and gotten a comp barrel combo. Anyway, they go really fast on the day that they come out, usually, and by the grace of God, I swear to you, I somehow managed to get one 4 hours late. I guess it was just meant to be. Now let's talk about shooting it, because that's what really matters. I didn't know what to expect. I had never shot a comped gun before. This was my first experience with it, and let me tell you, it is smooth as crap. Now there's some caveats to that, and I'll talk about them a little bit here before I actually tell you what the major benefit is. The caveat is, this is going to slow your slide speed down a lot between two things, okay? Between the extra weight of an optic and a plate up here, and the comp shooting some of the gas up instead of forward and backward to move your slide. It's going to make your slide move a little bit slower. Now, I can't shoot all that fast to begin with. Like, my best bill drill is like a 2.3, and that's not amazing. It's not awful either. But the point I'm trying to make here is, if you're fast enough, you could probably outrun the gun with this setup. And maybe there's some tuning I could do to the recoil spring, or get a new recoil spring assembly of some kind that either lightens things up or makes things heavier. I don't know. Probably lighten things up, because there's not enough moving the slide back anymore. Now, what that translates to is A, it shoots pretty dang flat, and B, it really feels smooth, and it does not feel like you're shooting 9mm anymore. It is not reciprocating hard enough to feel that way. So it's soft. It shoots soft, it shoots smooth, and it shoots flat. So now let's talk about the flatness, because that is the major thing people are looking for when they're thinking about compensators, right? So the way I can describe this best to you is, when I shoot normally with no comp, my dot will go up out of the window and then come back down into the window. When I shoot with this comp, there is none of that. It goes up to the top of the window where I can still see it, and comes back down on target again. So normally, right, especially if you're new to dots, you'll shoot, it'll leave, and then when you come back down on target, you might overcorrect and go too low, and now your dot is out of window again. This makes it so that I go up and down, up and down, up and down, pretty much. That's the best way I can describe it to you. I wish I could show it to you from shooter's perspective, but I'll have to get one of those eye cams that they are always doing on Instagram that I'm pretty sure are scam. Anyway, in my opinion, the comp is worth it, and that's saying a lot because it's 450 bucks. I mean, it's 400 for the barrel combo, and then another 50 bucks for the barrel service if you have an X-Carry. So for me, it was $450. That is like probably fourth the total cost of the gun at this point. Is just this guy, and maybe it's worth it in the context of the barrel. Very good barrel, great finish. They even, like, you end up with a witness hole as well, so that you can see, you know, a chamber loaded indicator. It's not popping up, but you can see the brass through that hole. So I think it's very quality, and in my opinion, from what I've experienced so far, well worth 450 bucks. This thing is a champion and I love it, but I'm going to talk to you right now about what I would change and what I probably will change with future builds going forward. So, X-Carry is a compact slide. That makes this guy stick out from the dust cover. So if I were to do this again, I'd have to get another barrel combo, different sized, for the sub-compact slide. That'll bring that length back into the dust cover, okay? That will also give me better mounting options because the subcompact slide assemblies that you can buy on SIG's website come with a dovetailed rear sight instead of the integrated rear sight on the plate. So when you remove the plate, it takes off your rear sight. They have dovetails now. So what that means is I could get a plate that lets me adapt the Holoson on there and still have that rear sight dovetail, which is awesome. I'm hoping in the future Polymer 80 comes out with a long slide grip. If they do that, then I will go with that subcompact barrel, a Holoson 508T, hopefully, if I can find one, and then the Polymer 80 long slide grip frame would be awesome. And then the last thing is, I love the Surefire, I really do, it's pretty dang good, but I'm wanting to try out that new Mod Light pistol light. So that is a plan for the future as well. So if I were to build another one of these, that is probably how I would do it. Now, that being said, absolutely love this, especially in combination with my Safariland holster that I had for the X-Carry before I got this all set up. It still fits. It does not do the retention though, so I can pull it up without using the button. I could send this off to an aftermarket company to get that changed, but I don't think I'm going to. I think I'm just going to rock with it for now. I might change it eventually. But I'm waiting on a concealed carry holster for this, and I'm going to try carrying this big, long, girthy boy. But I think that's going to go just fine. I've never had a hard time concealing bigger guns. Especially, you know, that's not that bad when it comes to grip. This is the part that usually is the hardest to conceal, and it doesn't look too crazy to me. Amazing setup. I would recommend all of these parts and pieces to anybody. If you liked this video, go ahead and like it and subscribe. If you didn't like it, go ahead and let me know down in the comment section why. And I will catch you later.